Hey you guys, it's me, Jordan, and videotaping me today is my lovely fiance.
Who is that masked man? Alex? Check out my shirt. Boys Night Out. Alright. Pugspiration.
Pugspiration for days, rocking my puggy shirt because I thought, well, actually, this is Alex's idea. Thought I'd give you guys some inspiration, some motivation with the pugs. So we're rocking it. We're a pretty fun couple. We like to keep it fresh. But anyway, so why am I filming this, you might ask? So, ever since like maybe 3 to 4 months ago, since my sister's wedding, I've been, and those pictures have come out, and for a while now, actually, people have been inbox messaging me on Facebook and texting me and asking me how I lost all this weight. How I lost it's actually been about 100 pounds I've lost since moving here in August. And so I just kind of wanted to address that. And also, this is the beginning of a new adventure for me. I'm going to start vlogging and blogging. So I'm going to start a website that hopefully will connect to YouTube, where I'll start doing vlogs, and Instagram, where I'll do picture blogging, and also on the website I'll probably do some writing entries. It just depends, just like spiritual things, uplifting things about health, recipes, thrifting things, fashion things, just like kind of everything that is important to me and that makes up my life, marriage things, mainly God and health, God obviously first and foremost. But so this is just the beginning of that. And I just wanted to address all those questions again because I get them all the time. So this story just really starts from the very beginning, ever since I can remember, probably not when I was like a toddler, but I've always been very tall and had a bigger frame, a bigger build. And ever since elementary school, I've been overweight, really overweight. I've been overweight all my life. I've been plus sized. I can't remember a time where I wasn't plus sized or overweight. I just can't remember a time where that hasn't been a thing. So I came to Boston in August, and the beginning of all this, I was on the plane, and I just went. It was a simple thing. I went to go put on my seatbelt, and I was struggling so hard. I was getting exacerbated. I was getting really frustrated. No matter what I did, I just couldn't snap my seatbelt. It wouldn't work. And my hands were getting rubbed, literally like almost raw, like I was getting seatbelt burn. And I just remember like getting so frustrated that I started crying. That's how frustrated I was. And I had to literally get up and go ask one of the flight attendants if they had a seatbelt extender. And I remember hiding it as I was walking back to my seat. And just like the shame that like went along with that, and thinking, Jordan, you are 23 years old and you are having to ask for a seatbelt extender. And that's when I realized that this wasn't okay, and that I needed to do something. You know, I've been on diets all my life. I've been on Weight Watchers. I've done no carb. Low carb. I've done 21-day fix. I've done everything. And I always kind of fell off, or I would just get so frustrated because I'd be doing it for months and nothing would happen. I would see like no results. If I saw results, it would be very little. But something just clicked this time, and it wasn't for anyone else. I wasn't doing it to please anyone. I wasn't doing it because someone told me I had to go on a diet. I was just doing it because I had met not actually physically met, but I knew my husband. Alex and I met when started talking over a Christian dating website, and he was in Connecticut and I was in Louisiana, and it just so happened that I had a feeling that I would end up being in Boston, which is not far from where he was in Connecticut. And we just started talking, and God just made it very apparent that he was my husband, and that's who I was called to marry and be with. And so I knew who I was going to marry at that point, and I just knew that I wanted to live a long time for our future kids, for my husband. I knew that my husband was called to ministry, and that I was called to be his helpmate, and just called to like live my life, and that my calling, I couldn't do all of the things that I was supposed to do unless I honored God by honoring my temple. And so I just made the decision, and something in my brain just flipped, and that's when it kind of all started. Again, I met Alex. We physically met as soon as I moved up to Boston. It was in September, and best night of my life.
Of course.
It was the best. And I was overweight then. Like I was, I had all, imagine me now with, if you know me, I've been overweight all my life. So imagine like Jordan, like 100-pound thicker Jordan. And that's how I met Alex. I was super nervous that he wouldn't be accepting of me or love me. That he would want nothing to do with me because my weight was just so sad. And I was super nervous, but that's not how it was at all. We had the most amazing night, and we just both, it was confirmed that we were meant to be, that was my, that he was my husband and I was his wife that night. And he loved me anyway. So that's another question that I get is, did I lose the weight because for Alex, like, oh, love makes you lose weight. Love did make me lose weight because I wanted to get healthy for him, and I wanted to get healthy for our kids, and I wanted to get healthy mainly for me because I want to be able to live a long life to honor God with and do whatever he has for me to do. And it wouldn't be fair for me to be selfish and cut that off prematurely because I couldn't get my temple together, get it in working condition finally. So it was really simple how I did it. Like, there's no tricks, there's no gimmicks. This is the only thing that's ever worked for me. Because again, I've tried everything, and I know that people get frustrated because you try everything and you try all of the Slim Fast, and different things work for different people. But for me, counting calories is what really worked. So what I would just do is I would substitute my lunch, because I was so busy just running around and going to class. I didn't have time. I would substitute it for a protein bar or a protein shake, just something you could grab on the go. A lot of coffee because we're in New England and there's a Dunkin' Donut on every street corner.
Donkeys.
What?
Donkey Dunks, they call
Dunkin'
it.
Dunks. Represent Dunkin' Dunks. If anyone's watching from Dunkin', which you're probably not, it's my first blog post, but if you want to like hit a girl up and give her free coffee, I'd be cool with that. But anyways, I digress. So like coffee all the time, but the big thing is like, instead of, because I used to do that too in undergrad, I would have like a protein replacement, but I would go home and eat junk, like so much junk, and get so stressed. But instead of doing that, I just started eating salads and lean proteins and tons of vegetables. And if I was eating grains, like if I was eating any kind of carbs, it was like good grains and good carbs, because carbs are good, just the right kind of carbs. So that's literally how I did it, and how I've kept the weight off is just now I'm wanting to maintain. I'm not wanting to lose any more weight. But how it worked for me is just counting calories. And but more so, if you're eating the right things, usually they're lower in calories. It's not to say you can't go out and have pizza, you can't go out and have a donut, because if you see my Facebook post lately, have had a donut recently. It's just saying that 80% of the time you're making really good choices, and then the 20% of the other time, the other 20%, you're eating things that, that might not be the best, but things so that you can keep going. Because if you eat a certain way all the time, it's easier to get off the bandwagon. But for me, this is not a diet, this is a lifestyle change, and I never want to go back. I never plan on going back. I'm not going back. Mark my words, I'm never going back to that place. So anyways, just counting calories. So I eat a lot of lean proteins, a lot more vegetables, a lot more fruits. Eat the rainbow when you're eating produce, grains, just things like that. I don't eat a lot of dairy. I substitute almond milk. It's things like simple things like switching out sugary cereals for oats, things like that. The kind of bread you're eating, not eating a lot of it. Sweet potatoes instead of regular potatoes. How you're cooking things. It's really things like just simple things like that. And I will tell you, like, since I've lost the weight, I have so much more energy. It gives me like, I have so much more confidence. I don't feel the need to wear any makeup. If you've known me all my life, like, I'm always about, I've always been about dressing nice and putting my best foot forward when it comes to that. I've always loved fashion and makeup. But for the first time in my life, I can go somewhere without makeup on and I feel completely confident in myself, which is such a huge thing. Like, one of the biggest things I would say is like the confidence that I've gained from just making these lifestyle changes, because I used to think that every time I walked into a room, all I could think about was people are thinking about me because I'm overweight. Like, they're looking at me and they're going, oh, she's overweight, let's stare at her. Like, I was so paranoid about that, and I was so consumed with being overweight. That's all I could think about all the time. And now I don't think about that. I don't think about that at all. I think people just, people are looking at me because I'm smiling or things like that, or because they're just looking at me. So things like that are amazing, just being comfortable and confident in yourself. That's the biggest thing I've gained from this whole experience. But I just couldn't be happier. I never thought I'd lose the weight again. I think I already said that. Never thought I'd lose the weight. I always just convinced myself that that it wasn't in the cards for me. That I was always going to be plus size because I just have a bigger bone structure and that was going to be it. But I'm telling you, you can do it. Like, don't psych yourself out before you even try. Like, just jump in. If you're feeling like you want to change, you want to lose the weight, and just know that you can. You really can. I'm a great example of that, because if you know me, if you've seen me, if you've grown up with me, I've always been that girl. I've always been overweight, and literally you can do it. I promise you. Like, God has just been, Alex and God have just like been such a great support system. Anytime I've ever gotten down, I just turn to God, and he just gives me that strength, to keep going. It won't be easy, but you can totally do it. And I'm telling you today, it's totally worth it to just live a life where you feel good, and you have energy and you can be helpful. You have more energy to be helpful, and just do what you're called to do and do it in the best way possible. But anyways, on that note, again, this is the first of many, hopefully, vlogs and video postings. Gonna get the blog set up because I really just want to be a source of encouragement for people, and just if any way that if my story can help anyone, I would love that, So if you have any questions, if you have any comments, I'm going to post this on my Facebook, and soon I'll put up the link to my blog website, and this will be on there. Having a little bit of computer trouble right now. But again, thank you for listening. And my ending sign off, it's going to be live a bold life, live your best life for Christ. And you can, through Christ, you can do whatever you set your mind to. Again, thank you for listening and watching, and more to come.